everybody doing this Friday special show, Friday show. I hope everybody's having a good Friday. It's Friday. Get your libations. Those don't have to be. That can be whatever you need it to be. Chamomile tea to relax the spirit and the soul and the body. Whatever you need for this moment. Fam, we don't normally do Friday, but we had to do Friday because some stuff happened. But before we get to that, please hit that like. Please hit that like. Hit that like for me. I would appreciate it. Cost you nothing. If you want to donate, you can go to donatebrown.com, patreon.com/ycarnell. You can buy a shirt, hoodies coming soon, all that good stuff. Also, you can also go to subscribe to Brown, subscribe to brown.com and add your name to my mailing list if you have not done that. If you have not, hit that bell. Hit the bell so that you get notifications. I would appreciate it. I have an announcement. Before we get down to what we're going to get down, I have an announcement this Friday, which I hope everybody's enjoying. If you had work, I hope you had a wonderful work week. If you didn't, it's Friday. Relax yourself. But I have an announcement. Drum roll, please. So listen, I asked everybody, book club, what do you want to do for the book club? I got a lot of great recommendations, so thank you everyone who sent me recommendations, some great ones. I had a lot to choose from, and it was really good to do it the way that we did it in terms of choosing in terms of choosing from the family. But the winner is Shakura, who is she wants y'all to know she's one of the last ADOS teachers in the classroom in Chicago. So shout out to Shakura. She gave us our next book club book, which is They Were Her Property. They Were Her Property. White Women as Slave Owners in the American South, ladies and gentlemen. That is the next book club, and the date. You got plenty of time because right now we're in the end. I figured we're in the end of November. So January the 30th, which is the last Thursday. I like to do the last Thursday. We're not going to do the book club until January the 30th. So you all, everybody, family, everybody in the chat, outside of the chat, and we'll re-announce this, of course, but you have more than enough time. You have more than enough time to get the book and actually read the book. I understand how it is. Sometimes you got to wait till that next check get here, or you just started a job and you got to put 2 weeks in the hole or whatever. So I understand all of that. So we're not doing this until January the 30th. That should give everybody more than enough time to do what they got to do, and be how they got to be, to get the book. So, and get the book, and we're going to have a conversation about it. I just timed out somebody who said, sounds depressing. Listen, if you have mental health issues and stuff hits you in a certain way, I understand that there's certain stuff that you can't read, but to us, it's just history. And it's important history in terms of how we anchor ourselves. So if you need therapy or whatever, we understand that, and we support you in whatever you go through. We're here for you. We family for a reason. So, get your life right. So family, let's go to, I want to talk about something. We have been talking about the Byron Allen Supreme Court case, which is really not that. It's the Civil Rights Act of 1866. So anybody who asks you, well, Byron don't do this or Byron don't do that. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But what about your civil rights? Okay. So, I'm not going to get into it, but you all know, you've been here. We have had a lot of agents of chaos try to come in and throw a chicken leg in the room while we all talking and planning, and then saying, somebody stole money out of my pillowcase. And so we have gotten out of that. We have kind of gotten out of that to a point of where, okay, now we focused again, because you have to kind of deal with the agents of chaos, but know who they are. And so now we back. It's kind of like that. Now we back. So a couple of interesting things happened this week in terms of the Byron Allen case. Everybody, the agents of chaos was saying it's a finesse. It's just a finesse. It's just a finesse. Y'all don't know a finesse. But two things happened, and I want to just put this up first, because two of the things that happened related to what Antonio Moore and I have been doing for a while. So if you go back and you watch Antonio's videos, if you go back and you watch my videos going back 3 years, if you go back and you see Antonio's video about the decadent veil and what wealth is, the reality of wealth, black wealth versus white wealth in this country. If you go back and you look at some of the data that we have been talking about, if you look at all that, you see that the case, that what Diddy is saying and what Byron is saying, because Diddy came out and there's a whistleblower that came out, and we got to talk about both of them. We got to talk about two things. You see that this is all anchored in what we have been saying all the while. We have been called negative naysayers and beggars and all sorts of things. I want you to just refresh your memory and see this data and how everything that we're talking about is anchored in what we said before. And then we're going to get to Diddy, and we're going to get to this whistleblower. So let's look at some of Diddy had at Revolt TV, he wrote a statement, but he also put up some tweets. So I want to go through some of the tweets and then go through the statement, and then I want to go to the whistleblower and come back around and talk about it. And I will take a few calls today so we can have a conversation about it. But let me just go through a few of these. Now, this is Diddy talking. This is not me. This is not, this is not just Byron, because the whole plan was to have Byron come out by himself and look stupid. And so because everybody could just malign his character as if this wasn't about the civil rights. So let's talk about it. Diddy says, while it is true that we are in business with Comcast, it is not accurate to use my name or my network as an example of inclusion. I do not want my name to be used inaccurately, so I must speak my truth. See, they don't want Diddy to speak his truth. They want Diddy to be used for aspiration. Understand that. Diddy's supposed to be used for aspiration. The whole point, let me just say this before I go back into it. One of the whole points that we have in terms of Diddy is he's not supposed to be used for that. Understand that. The whole point of Diddy what they want to do, right? What they want to do in terms of Diddy, they want him to be the face of black aspiration. They don't want him to be the face of black oppression or blacks being shut out. No, you're supposed to be the happy face. We want you to be the happy face. We don't want you to be the face of like fighting back, which is what he's doing, and that's good. Good. I'm with him on this because I was there talking about this a long time ago. So I'm with you in terms of what you're doing now. I eat the fish and spit out the bones. That's what I do. But they don't want you to do that. You're supposed to be the guy that's happy and dancing. Whenever Diddy dances, when he dances or when he does that thing where he's judging talent and he makes that face, it goes viral. Everybody want to talk about it. All of a sudden, though, I didn't see anybody but Variety cover this. But we're going to get to that. But let's go back to Diddy. We're going to get to all of that. Let's go back to some of his tweets and let's just talk about it. Let's have a conversation about it. So this was the first one. Let's go to the next one. I also want to make clear that this case is now about much more than cable distribution. It's about the civil rights of millions of African Americans and other minorities. First, it's important that people really understand what's at stake. In its effort to get the lawsuit filed by Byron Allen dismissed, Comcast has taken a legal approach that could weaken fundamental civil rights protections. I have a problem with this. Now, remember it was just last week or not even that long ago that somebody was telling us, the agents of chaos were telling us, no, this civil rights law has been absorbed into something else. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Judge Joe Brown told me so. So let's just keep going. The Civil Rights Act of 1866, Section 1981, was designed to ensure black people are able to do business in this country and not be denied because of race. Comcast is arguing that this law only applies if racial discrimination is the only factor that leads to a refusal to do business, which would be extremely hard to prove. If they are successful, it will become much harder for any victim of discrimination to seek justice in court. Isn't that what we said? Got to watch them agents of chaos and wonder what they're doing and who they're working for. By taking this stance in the Supreme Court, Comcast has put its legal tactics ahead of the rights of millions of Americans to be heard. That is not okay. Read my full statement at Revolt TV. Now we're going to go to the full statement, because the full statement has something even more damning than was in the tweets. The tweets really show you what happened, right? And where it went. Now, last week we had Agents of Chaos. We had Tariq Nasheed, and Boyce Watkins talking about that ain't what it is. All these laws have been absorbed into other laws. And the laws don't benefit us anyway. And this is just a finesse by Byron Allen. And now you have somebody. See, one of the problems that we have is having people who don't know anything. People always talk about, Yvette, you don't know anything about business. Why are you talking about business? Tariq Nasheed know about business. No, he knows about fundraisers. See, when you talk about Diddy and you talk about Byron Allen, these are people who are in this space doing this business with these people. You don't know what they know. Just because you do a Kickstarter or Indiegogo, you don't know what they know and what they have to deal with. So the real problem is that you're an agent of chaos, creating chaos through misinformation, because you don't know. You don't do real business on a multi-million-dollar scale. We access and talk to people who do that. I don't do it. But I can talk to people who do it and say, okay, that's what's going on with you. All right, I get it. And I get the debt. I get all of that. You don't do that. You do Kickstarter. So bop, 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 bop. Go stay in your lane. So we're back to Diddy. And he says that this is the statement that he released. That there's a couple of parts in here that are really, really important. There are a couple of parts here who are really, really, really important. Let me just go through them. So he says, as background, in 2013, the Revolt TV cable channel was given distribution by Comcast as part of a U.S. government mandate when Comcast bought NBC Universal. This made it possible for the channel even to exist, but Revolt was never put in the most affordable packages on Comcast and has never been given any more distribution than what they got at the time Comcast launched the network as part of that government mandate. Revolt isn't even carried by Comcast in many key African American markets like Philadelphia, Indianapolis, parts of Florida, and the entire states of New Jersey, Alabama, and the South and South Carolina, to name a few. See, let me just say something, and I don't mean to be mean. I'm not trying to do any of that. But if only thing you do is Kickstarter documentaries, you shouldn't say anything about this. If you don't know like money in terms of how Diddy and Byron are moving, you shouldn't say anything about this. You should have been quiet. You should have been quiet. People without money are talking about money. Byron is worth $1 billion and Diddy is worth like $500 million. And they're talking about what they went through. You don't know anything about that experience without one, talking to them like we did and engaging like what they went through. You don't know anything about that by just doing Kickstarters and putting together documentaries. Like go swim in the shallow end. Right? We talk to Byron and do the data, and okay, it makes sense. We've been saying, Antonio and I have been saying what it is. How long? At least 3 years, because how long ago was this video? That interview was 3 years ago. How long? Where's your interview? Boyce, where's your interview? Tariq? People have so much to say. Like, Antonio and I have both talked to Byron. We email back and forth. Like, I want to understand this because it's a misnomer. I want black wealth, but I understand what it takes to have it. And I understand what it takes to build it and create it. It's a fairness in the judicial system. It's policies. It's a lot more than an Indiegogo campaign. That's what I know. And that's why I say what I say. Is my house is built with bricks. That's what I'm saying. So let me go back in here. Let me just go back. Where was I? I just started talking. I forgot what I was. Let me just go to this if I haven't. This is Diddy, not me. On the question Revolt TV, Diddy went on to say, inclusion requires a real partnership. The only way black-owned networks grow and thrive with is with meaningful and consistent economic support. Otherwise, they are set up to fail. Revolt has never been in a position to truly compete on a fair playing field because it has not received the economic and distribution support necessary for real economic inclusion. Our relationship with Comcast is the illusion of economic inclusion. You better talk about it, Diddy. You better talk about it. You better tell the truth about it. They set Diddy up to fail. They locked out Byron. They set Diddy up to fail. They set him up. See, you don't understand. It's not about, I'm just going to build my own. I'm going to build my own. I'm going to build my own haberdashery or whatever. No, there's a setup that goes with this in terms of distribution and carriage and audit and subscribers. There's a whole package that's supposed to go with it. If you don't have the stuff that goes with it, it's like having the sprinkles without having a cake, right? Ketchup with no French fries. It's supposed to go with it. And if you don't know enough to know that, then of course you can listen to some Judge Joe Brown conspiracy theory and believe, yeah, it's all about a finesse. It's all about, what it is, what you said, Judge Joe, and then type it up. Now you just look a fool. So let me just go to we got to talk about the whistleblower. Now this is an insider. This is an insider talking to you and telling everybody what really happened on the inside. Insider executives talking about what happened in terms of, remember, let's go back. There was a memorandum of understanding. Al Sharpton, Ben Jealous, who did it in NAACP, Mark Morier, Urban League, everybody signed this memorandum. And the memorandum of understanding didn't have anything in it, really. It was just some diversity BS. But everybody signed it, right? You have to go back to that MOU and try to figure out, okay, well, what happened? Well, we got somebody in the room now who's going to tell us exactly what happened. And what Comcast's interest was, what Byron's interest was, how they set Diddy up to fail. We're going to talk about what happened. So let's just go to this let's just go over here really quick. Let me see if I can find it. So Entertainment Studios releases official statement of Paula Madison, former Comcast, NBC Universal executive and corporate insider, reveals the truth about Sean Diddy Combs' revolt, Byron Allen, and Comcast Universal. Ooh, it's about to get juicy. Now, when you see TAC, it means the Africa channel. So anytime you see TAC, the Africa channel. So I highlighted a few things. Just want you to know that when you see it, because you're going to see it right about now. And that's what this insider also has ownership in that. But they are also part of diversity management in Comcast. And this is what they are. This is what they do. And they kind of, when they do one thing, they say they're not a part of this. You know, they're not a part of, like, it's kind of like you have to recuse yourself, because I'm a part owner of this station or whatever, but I'm here too. So knowing that, let's go forward. The Africa channel, that's TAC, has been in conversations with Comcast regarding the additional cable carriage. We have been told that carrying TAC on demand might be a possible solution. Their representative said Comcast is considering networks with 0 to very low license fees. And so with virtually no leverage, we offer to reduce our before I go on. And so with virtually no leverage, I want you to hold that right now. I want you to hold on to that. He said with no leverage, with virtually no leverage. That's what it is. See, when you say virtually no leverage, this is what you're talking about right here. No money. I ain't got no leverage. I can't make these people do nothing. I'm just asking. The only reason we're even talking about this is because Byron slipped under the radar. He's a billionaire now. He can do it. That's the only reason we're even having this conversation. This number right here, white American households, 90%, black Americans altogether own 2.6%. That means no leverage. Now let's go back to it. And so with virtually no leverage, we offer to reduce our carriage fee or even agree to a flat fee in exchange for a wider distribution. We still believe that a loss in carriage revenues would be offset by increased advertising revenue generated by a larger subscriber base, but Comcast consistently has dismissed those requests. They swat you away like a little fly. Go, fly, fly. Go, fly, fly. You have no leverage here. You have none. Now understand, when we're talking about subscriber fees, stuff like that, understand ESPN charges $8 a subscriber and Comcast is demanding you to offer yours free and get yours from ads. So ESPN gets $8 per subscriber, but we have to try to get ours for free. Why? Because Comcast says so. You know, and the issue is ads aren't a secured income stream you can get loans against. You can't get no loan or build or scale with an ad. You can do that with subscribers, though. So you have to understand the importance of subscribers and what this person is talking about in terms of what they were promised versus what they got from Comcast and the difference. If you don't know about that, Tariq or Boyce, maybe be quiet. So let's go on to the next quote. TAC has been an extraordinarily good partner by supporting all of Comcast's multicultural initiatives, such as sponsoring the Odundi Festival, the largest African gathering in Philadelphia, home of Comcast, as well as other Xfinity VOD marketing initiatives targeting the African American community, but to no meaningful reciprocity. So you in this space where, like, you're doing everything that Comcast asks you to do. Comcast say this, you do it. Comcast say dance a jig and throw your left toe out, just you, and you do it. And there's no reciprocity. We still not gonna do what we promised you. We're not gonna give you the extra no subscribers. We're not gonna put you on all these channels and the packages that go to all these ADOS and other black people. We're not gonna do none of that. You just gonna keep dancing. Just gonna fail. We don't care. Just what it is. So let's go to the next one. Although Comcast has not shut out TAC, the Africa channel, Comcast has not been a good business partner. With an unkept yet repeated promise by Comcast of 4 million additional subscribers, it's inaccurate to include TAC in any grouping of black-owned independent networks, which would typify the Comcast business relationship as good or in any way proactive. We don't have a good relationship with Comcast. Comcast is using us. Comcast have us put on festivals and dance around and do all kinds of stuff, but in the end, there is no reciprocity. Comcast wants you to do whatever it is to make them look diverse. Whatever you got to do to make us look like we're good, diverse partners. But we don't care, not only do we not care, like we kind of get that you're going to fail, but like, okay, what you want us to do? Understand that Diddy didn't have Atlanta and Philly in this revolt. You need ADO, you need black people, and you didn't give Philly and Atlanta. They didn't give you that. If you don't give Diddy in his revolt Atlanta and Philly, he failing, and he know it. That's why he's talking now. See, one of the things we have to do. We've always had this stupid stuff talking about all money green. Money green. All you got to do, America ain't black or brown or white. It's green. No, all money don't spend the same. Well, nobody interested in putting Diddy in these areas so he could succeed or so he could build something. No. We don't care. Fall off a cliff. That's what Comcast basically said. We don't fail. We got to do this stuff for the memorandum of understanding. We don't really care what happens to you. And we're going to lock Byron out too. We don't want another Bob Johnson. Kick it gone. Like you tell an old dog something awfully when you destroy. Hey, get off my porch. Yeah. So here's another quote from the whistleblower, insider in Comcast. Diversity. Okay, we're going to get to all of this. So this is what our whistleblower at Comcast is telling us. During the MOU process, that's the memorandum of understanding, because remember Comcast trying to get you NBC Universal, and they're trying to get approval from Congress, and all this stuff is going on. Maxine Waters is against it. It's a whole lot of stuff going on. Of course, Al Sharpton is just trying to get his place on MSNBC, so he's in favor of it. So here's what we have. During the MOU process, I met with Chicago Congressman Bobby Rush as part of the congressional approval process. We met in his D.C. office, and he asked me to assure him that Comcast would continue the innovative and meaningful progress in diversity and inclusion. And shout out Bobby Rush. Like, you see him in here trying to do the right thing, and people just keep getting in the way. Right? The meaningful process on diversity and inclusion that, as NBCU's EVP and Chief Diversity Officer, I had led at NBCU. So this is what we're talking about, insider. I assured Congressman Rush that I did not know if Comcast folks would do so, and certainly had no way of predicting this. I told him I didn't know. They sent me in the room to talk, and I said, listen, bro, I don't know. I did say that GE, NBC's parent company, NBCU's parent company, was an industry insider regarding diversity and inclusion, and the NBCU was an industry leader regarding diversity and inclusion. This is wild. I said that I was meeting with him as one of my assigned responsibilities. Listen, I do diversity and inclusion at Comcast. That's my job, Congressman Rush, but I don't know. I'm meeting with you as one of my assigned responsibilities to fulfill what was needed to secure for Comcast the government approval to acquire and own NBCU. I said I was taking Comcast at his word. Launching these black entrepreneurs' new cable networks without meaningful distribution and real economic inclusion, in my opinion, would result in a business model fraught with frustration and near futility. Read that again, fam. Read that again. Launching these black entrepreneurs, new cable networks without meaningful distribution and real economic inclusion, in my opinion, would result in a business fraught with frustration and near futility. As the NBCU team leader who worked on and negotiated the MOU with the African American civil rights leaders, separately, I raised with Comcast that without understand, this is what she said. I raised the issue. So Comcast can say, I don't know, I hadn't heard it. I raised with Comcast that without a guaranteed subscriber count, giving the black entrepreneurs significant revenue and profit, the launch of these channels would not help them achieve success in business. Understand what the person, understand what is being said. I told them that these businesses would fail. That's what they're saying. Comcast didn't care. Really what Comcast is saying, listen, dude, I just needed these people just so I could get past Congress. Like, that's what it was. It wasn't, I don't care whether they fail. I want them to fail. Get these, I don't want them about them. Get them out of here. Comcast was bound by the agreement to launch the cable networks, but was not bound to distribute to a requisite number of households, subscribers, so the channels never had a good chance of having profitable and successful business. Understand who's at fault here, too. Understand that Al Sharpton went into a room and got nothing. Ben Jealous, Mark Moria, all these people went into the room. This insider is saying you have to distribute to a requisite number of households and subscribers. This is what has to happen in order for these people, these black entrepreneurs, to be successful, and Comcast set them up to fail. That's what we're being told. The amount of money black cable network owners get from their business relationship with Comcast can only be described as very small. In fact, Comcast spends in excess of $12 billion in licensing cable networks, of which black-owned networks receive a negligible amount. As someone who was a corporate insider and helped to craft the MOU, I can honestly say that after reading Sean Diddy Combs' official statement about Comcast, he has every reason to feel the way he does. In fact, I considered some weeks ago filing an amicus brief to Byron Allen's lawsuit, but after communicating with fellow Vassar alum Sherrilyn Ifill of the Legal Defense Fund, I decided not to do so. This is very interesting as well. We're going to get to you, Sherrilyn. We're going to get to you too. We're going to get to you too. You decided not to, you what? I decided not to do so. And so what they go on to say, let me go into this last little bit. I also spoke with National Association of Black Journalists, NABJ, President Dorothy Tucker, expressing my great concern that the Civil Rights Act of 1866 would be gutted by Comcast and the U.S. Attorney General Barr. And so I encourage NABJ, of which I am a lifetime member, to speak out, and indeed NABJ has done so. After watching Comcast's actions regarding the statute, I am now convinced that I have to speak up. Again, that's why this person is writing a statement. I'm trying to find something else, because there's a point in this where Comcast basically says that we're only interested. The whistleblower says that Comcast says we're only interested in getting these networks. We're not interested in the success of these networks. But we've hit it mostly in our conversation. But there was another one. That just really took it home, but I don't see that in my thing. But let me just say this. You know, you got to stop letting people go into these rooms who don't know anything. What you have with Moriel and Sharpton, they likely had no idea what any of these business terms in media meant, licensing, subscribers, or whatever. They just kind of wanted to show. Well, Moriel just kind of wanted Comcast to give money to the National Urban League, and to me too. I make millions a year. I got a nice house. I got to get my nails done. I got to get cufflinks. And so you had them just wanting something for themselves. So they crafted a meaningless agreement. You know, if you want to read that, go and read it. You know, it's up on my the link is up on my Twitter. There's a point where the whistleblower says, listen, Comcast said they don't care. They don't, screw it. If these black entrepreneurs survive or whatever, that's not our business. We just need them to kind of be here right now. We're not interested in like making sure that they're successful. That's not our job. We don't care. Again, the link is up on my Twitter at breakingbrown. Check it out. So, you know, one of the things that we have to talk about is, you know, I want to, you know, that was very interesting when she the whistleblower put something up about Sherrilyn Ifill. Now, I don't remember Antonio Moore talking about her, right? I don't ever remember that. If you remember it, let me know. But she blocked Antonio and kind of preemptively in a way, which is very interesting. And the part where the whistleblower says, I was going to submit an amicus, but I was advised not to, is very suspicious to me, because this whistleblower was an insider and knew and had been told specific things from Comcast. I mean, about we don't care whether or not they're successful, and this is how there are no assurances, and what was the insider knowledge and what it would take for a black entrepreneur to be successful in that field. And Comcast, I wouldn't even say Comcast was indifferent. I say Comcast set them up to fail. So I wonder why Sherrilyn Ifill told this woman, this whistleblower, not to file an amicus. You need to answer for that, Sherrilyn. Because this whistleblower has very specific information. Now, I would say to you also, Sherrilyn, you know, you have been doing a whole bunch of stuff at the Legal Defense Fund that is benefiting DACA and everybody else, but that has not been beneficial to ADOS. If you go to your Twitter, Sherrilyn, we see a lot about DACA. Right? This is the power of the Trump administration seeks in the DACA case. Now, the DACA case was an NAACP case. We see a lot about you, Sherrilyn, talking about DACA, but not about the Civil Rights Act of 1866. Why is that? Why didn't your people stay over? You know, the DACA case was the day before. ADOS showed up and showed out. But like the DACA people didn't even stick around. I mean, they didn't even stick around. And then when you talk to the local NAACP, they said, we didn't even know. So wait a minute, the national didn't tell the local? Like, I mean, if you're on Twitter, ADOS, ask Sherrilyn Ifill, what's going on? What you doing? We need answers. I'm not saying, I just want to know, what are you doing? Where was this rally promoted? I don't see a page or site. We were, you know, where we were informed this was happening. Also, we were there on the 12th. This is the NAACP's one. We were there for DACA because we had a case being heard on the 12th. What was your rally? What was your rally? Not your, ma'am or sir, our. Why didn't the NAACP tell you? Tell us, why did it have to be ADOS running this? Listen, Sherrilyn. I don't know if nobody told you, Sherrilyn, but you work for us. And I don't want anybody to tell me, well, she does good work on voting rights. ADOS and what we need is not just voting rights. It's not just showing up at the booth. in voting. That's part of it. We need economic inclusion. Where were you with that? And why did you advise our whistleblower not to file an amicus? These are things, regardless of where you come down, that you have to answer for. You don't get to run off and do DACA and not have to answer to us. What is the answer? Why did you make that recommendation? And why did the local NAACP branches not know, the local people not know that this was going down? What kind of game are you playing? I need to know. Why did all the NAACP leave? Y'all was there for DACA, but not for 1866? How? This person was like youth leadership when I scroll down to the bottom, talking about they didn't know. I'm not blaming you, but I'm blaming your leadership. They did a teleconference the day before 1866 for us. A teleconference. You had people over there show up. This is why Project Takeover is so important. Because we're going to have people in these local branches telling everybody what it is. If you didn't understand or you don't understand Project Takeover, I hope you understand now the importance of Project Takeover. We're taking over the whole thing, whether you know it or not. But tweet Sherrilyn Ifill and ask her, what was going on? What are you doing? Why are non-citizens more important to you than citizens in terms of your advocacy? I mean, we just need to know. We deserve answers. Right? Don't we? Don't we? I found, ma'am, are you serious? And yet when the people in those people's credit gets no assistance at all. ADOS, your silence and lack of advocating for us will soon end. Yeah, it will. It absolutely will. Ain't nobody going down this road no more. We tired of this. We done with this. But see, let me just say another thing. Let me just add something to this. You know, sometimes we forget it's 2019 and we all fired up because we ADOS. And we have anchored ourselves in a data and an understanding of who we are, what we are, and all of that, right? But you have to kind of go back to, like, do y'all remember a long time ago I said Black Enterprise and all these magazines and everybody love to talk about when a business starts. Oh, this black woman in Tougaloo, she gonna be the new Uber or whatever. But nobody ever talks about when the business is shut down. And so part of the reason that we couldn't tell anybody anything was because you got to understand, when you read Diddy's revolt statement, one of the things that he said that was very important, it was 2013. I want you to put yourself in 2013. This is Obama just got reelected. Everybody's happy. We got a black president. We got black people doing stuff. And we have headlines like this. Comcast deal puts new minority-run channels in play. Right? That's the kind of headlines we got. We got headlines like that. Oh, it's about to go down. Magic Johnson's Aspire sets film forward talk show. Exhale. Oh, it's about to go down. It's about to be real good. Revolt TV CEO on Sean Combs' plans to conquer cable. Oh, everybody was talking big and talking tough. So every time I said, hey, excuse me, even in writing and when we started doing the broadcast, that was later. Like, this might not be right. Oh, shut up, Yvette. You just a negative naysayer. You don't know what you're talking about. You just hate Obama. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. If you had any sense, you'd be ashamed of your damn self. That's what I got. But when you look back. Nobody was conquering cable. Cable was using us. And there's nothing, listen, it happened. White capital, when you see the numbers, you know we don't have no leverage. Right? That's what it is. But I just want you to put back in the moment of how hopped up we got on the idea of, like, we making it. We had Obama, we got Diddy. You shut up. I know what's going down, Yvette. I see it. It's about to go down. Obama's going to hook us up in the second term. And I said, ain't nobody hooking you up. In the second term, they ain't got to worry about you voting for them. You're not getting hooked up. You don't know what you're talking about, Yvette. We finna get hooked up in the second term. Hush. You don't know politics. What? What was it? I don't know. You don't know politics. He can't say nothing in the first term, but in the second term, we're going to get everything. Okay. All right. So everybody was all hopped up on Obama juice. See, one of our triggers is getting emotional and symbolic, and we get hyped up and we feel real good. We got to stop that. We got to stop that. We got to stop that. No. If you feel yourself getting all jibber jabber, then you just got to pull yourself down. Wait a minute, hold on. What am I not seeing? What is my excitement kind of preventing me from taking in all the way? You have to do that. We have to do that. And you know, the thing is, we've said this before too. You know, a lot of people have said, well, all you got to do is just play the game, you know. Yvette, you know, when I interviewed Monique, you just got to play the game. And so she didn't play the game right. Diddy played the game exactly right. So did Byron. And guess what? They just don't want him to be there. They don't want you in that space. They don't want you making that money. We tired. You little slave people. No, we don't want that. And it's about how you come in the room. Diddy comes in the room with a bunch of disadvantage, right? We're a wealthless group. You don't have the monies. It's entertainment money. All money ain't the same. Then you don't come through. With a lot of wind at your back. In terms of like you don't have people or anything like that. So that's a problem as well. I have said that when we do this, we have to work as a collective. You can't go in alone because you think you can. And this whole thing, even hip hop has been designed as to sell out. Like it's designed to take somebody and put them over there, and everybody thinking they can do stuff individually, and you get yours and I get mine, and we all just spread out not getting nothing. And don't nobody want to talk about it. Don't nobody want to have a conversation about it. About what they ain't getting and how they treat it, right? Because it's still better than most people, so I can go say too much. You were designed to sell out. And if you want to talk to me about solutions, we got to stop selling out. And selling out ain't just like you go in and take a bunch of money. No, selling out is trying to do stuff individually. That don't work. The only way this stuff is even working now, because white media isn't reporting on it at all, except for like Variety and a couple of places. It's because we're doing this stuff together. That individual stuff, when you go get yours and I go get mine, that don't work. Stop selling out. Stop trying to go along. And let me ask another question. What the heck is Magic Johnson? He the most disappearingest Negro I ever seen. Now remember the other day I said, why aren't Diddy and Magic talking? Well, Diddy done came out and said his piece and told his truth. Where is Magic at? Anybody see Magic? He was running around talking about aspire. And like, I don't see him no more. I ain't heard from him. Like, the least you can do is come out and tell us what's going on. And I understand what happened with Diddy. Like, Diddy couldn't have been honest 2 years ago. We came out as ADOS and gave him a space to be honest about what he was dealing with Comcast. Right? We did that. Where is Magic? So y'all been talking all this time about how good Magic is at business. And he's so wonderful at business. And he's so good. Are you sure? Are you sure he's not selling out? It's a lot of fun to business going on. He seems to have disappeared. I can't find him. He's not talking. He's a real quiet Negro. I'm just saying. Where is he? I don't understand. And see, let me just, I want to cover one other thing, because it wasn't just the Tariq Nasheeds and the Boyces who were saying stuff that didn't make sense, right? People get on me sometimes, say, Yvette, you just go too hard on people. And then, like, down the line, you see why. And it's really not hard. I always just jab somebody a little bit at first, and then I hit them hard. Well, there's a reason why I do the things I do. Maybe I've come across some information that you haven't come across. Right? So, a while ago, when we talk about white media, a while ago in this show, I talked about white media is not covering this case. And there are a lot of black faces at white media, though. And so, like, we have to, when I discuss, people be mad, when I discuss Nicole Hannah-Jones, I talked, you have to understand that she's at the New York Times. Now, she's writing a new reparations book and all this kind of stuff. I don't have no problem with nobody writing a book. I think Dr. Derry's writing a book. I don't have nobody. I do a book club. I have no problem with people writing books. But understand that this revolutionary space that we're in cannot be just academic. You got to write the book and do the work, and you got to know the stuff. So there was some other things that happened that kind of led me to believe that you didn't know exactly what you were talking about. I'm going to play a quick clip because I have to. Don't look at me. Don't go get your crying towel. Just remember this. And we're going to talk about this clip. Watch this and we're going to come back.
So one, I didn't see the Harriet movie, so I don't have to comment on it. What was the other? I don't even remember. What else was there?
1866 Civil Rights.
Wrong Supreme Court to be taking that 1866 Civil Rights Act, so I'm a little worried about that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
I said it's the wrong Supreme Court to take that case to. So I actually feel if Byron Allen was really concerned about it, he would not be taking that case right now because it's the wrong court.
He's not taking them, they're taking him.
Right.
He won twice in the 9th district.
That's true.
They're taking him because
They know
they lost
Yeah.
they lost twice $20 billion. So now they're taking him to court. Go and check out that because it's really important to your work.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Calvin. It's really important to what you're doing right now.
Yeah. I don't remember. So one, I didn't see the Harriet movie, so I don't have to comment on it. What was that?
See, when you talk about everybody got mad. Well, a lot of people got mad when I said what I said about Nicole Hannah-Jones. When you talk about when you are in this space, like there's so much responsibility in this space. And Nicole, you should really stop arguing with me and ADOS and really deal with your responsibility in this space. Your first responsibility, if you're going to be a person who writes about race and deals with race in a serious way, is to know what happened with the Byron Allen case. First of all, the first thing to know is, she said, understand what she said. It's the wrong Supreme Court to be taking this to. Understand that Byron Allen has been on this for this video with Antonio was 3 years ago. This started in the Obama era. This started in the Obama era. That's the first thing that you have to understand. Judge will let Byron Allen's company revive case against Comcast. Again, that's 2015. Right? Stop saying that. Stop saying that like it happened. Stop saying that like it's the wrong. You got to know that though. You got to know that. I'm sorry, that's your responsibility. Or you can say, I don't know enough, but I think that's still a cop-out. If you're going to write a reparations book, you got all this stuff coming, you got to know it. And you got to fight for it. But see, part of the problem is a lot of people want to be on MSNBC. A lot of people want to be on MSNBC. So they don't want to piss off MSNBC. They don't want to piss off MSNBC. They don't want to get in trouble. They don't want to do any of that. See, let me play this. Let me just play this one more time. I know some of you all didn't get to turn your laptops up. Turn the laptop up and listen to what she says.
1866 Civil Rights.
wrong Supreme Court to be taking that 1866 Civil Rights Act too, so I'm a little worried about that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
I said it's the wrong Supreme Court to take that case to. So I actually feel if Byron Allen is really concerned about it, he would not be taking that case right now because it's the wrong court.
He's not taking them, they're taking him.
Right.
He won twice in the 9th district.
That's true.
They're taking him because
They know
they
what
lost
yeah.
they lost twice $20 billion. So now they're taking him to court. Go and check out that because it's really important to your work.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Calvin. It's really important to what you're doing right now.
So what you have is her saying, well, you know, this has been going on since 2015. Byron lost in the lower court, won on appeal, and then for the case to proceed, and then they said then Comcast said we're gonna petition this all the way to the Supreme Court. So for her to say it's the wrong court to be bringing that to, you don't know. You don't know. How do you not know? But the second thing is this, and I wonder if this is what's going on in the New York Times and other places. Are you telling the New York Times? Did you tell the New York Times this? So let's say that you're the black person that the editors at the New York Times go to to deciding whether or not you're their darling. You're their darling. So they go to you to decide whether or not to cover this. You say, no, he brought it to the wrong court. He should have did that. Is that what happened? Even though this has been going on since Obama? Since the Obama administration? How do you not know that and be like the voice on race? It's a problem. And instead of having ego with me and being upset with me, just do better. Like, this is a problem for you to be in that space. Understand, we don't have a lot of black faces in high places. And none of this is going to be resolved with you doing a reparations book in 2021 or whenever. You got to do the work now. You got to stand on your square right now. This is not race. It's not just an academic project. It's not. It's not where everybody. We love academia because it gives us a way to anchor our stuff. But it's not just an academic project. And then you were kind of nasty to the girl, to the woman who was asking the question. Well, I don't know. Like, what? Like, I don't understand. Like, I've heard this about a lot of people in high places. Like, what is with the condescension? Well, what is with the condescension? You're not better than nobody. I don't do arrogance well. You just kind of flicked her away. Well, he shouldn't have brought it. Well, yeah, Who are you? Even the way, y'all remember how she did Otis. He begged me. Some man begged me. I was out there, child. And he begged me to be added back to his thing. He said I blocked him, girl. And child, I don't even remember who he is, child. And then so everybody digs and finds out it's Otis. And Otis didn't beg you. He brought the video. He didn't beg you for anything. And he was very nice to you. And y'all did a video together. And then you come back to Twitter and do this. You know, everybody needs to check their ego. This is not a time for big egos. You ain't special. I know I'm not special. And I know good and well you ain't. Stop. Like, it's just time to stop. It's just time to stop with all the BS. Can't find magic. People being crazy. So I'm gonna go to the phones, fam. I'm gonna go to the phones, and we are going to have a conversation. Let a few calls come in. All right, fam. And you know it's gonna be all good. So give me a few minutes as usual to set up the phones, and I'll be right back. right, fam, we are back. So let's have a conversation with the family. Let's have the conversation. Let's bring the calls in. Let's keep it concise, but let's do it, fam. Let me go to, I'm going to 216. 216, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Yvette.
Hey, what's going on?
My name is Nija. Nothing much. How you doing?
Pretty good. On this Friday night.
All right. Yeah, I'm calling from Cleveland by way of Akron. First, I got an announcement. Cleveland and Akron, Ohio, you do have an ADOS chapter. We are having a meeting in downtown Akron at the library, 2 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Bring your phone and your beautiful black self. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, Nicole Hannah-Jones. I've been on Twitter for a long time.
Okay.
And it's the height of disrespect to be an academic and then look down your nose at the people who are doing the work to make your ideas work in real life. How do you sit there and come up with the ideas that really came from people on the ground? You just managed to put it up on a higher pedestal and make money off of it. And then you got people on the ground who are actually making it happen. And then you get the platform to say everything, and you mess it up. I saw that clip a few weeks ago, and I was so disgusted. I could not believe that you would speak to that woman's just a regular person. And you would go out of your way to say, oh, well, the Harriet Tubman film, I don't have to comment on that. I ain't got to say nothing about that. But wrong Supreme Court, it's like, you're supposed to be the researcher. You're the writer. You're supposed to be telling us. And when you sit up there and you don't know what you're talking about, you make all of us look bad.
The question we have to ask though, right? Like, answer it. Is this just about the grift for you? Is this just about making money off another book, or you doing a new Ta-Nehisi Coates or whatever? And then shout out. I thought Ta-Nehisi did good on Oprah talking about reparations. Oprah looked real uncomfortable. But like, is this just about money for you? Is this just about elevating yourself or elevating black politics? What is this about? Like, I think we need to have everybody answer that. What is this about for you? Is this your, like we talked about Tariq, is this your Indiegogo, Nicole Hannah-Jones? Like, this is supposed to be about advancing black politics. So why are you so condescending to other ADOS and black people who are approaching you? I have a problem. I say this, I have a problem with condescension. Like, if you've ever met me in public, I will never be condescending, and I have never been. Nobody can never tell that lie about me. So I have a problem with people who look down on people. It pisses me off. And that's what I got from that clip. And you didn't know enough either to be condescending to anybody. You didn't know what was going on. You thought this all happened, during the Obama administration. You didn't even know it went back to 2015 and how they had been playing this game. You had no idea. So just say, you know what? I didn't know that. Nah, but you want to write a book and 1619 is going to be in schools and all this stuff. Well, then do the work. If you're not doing the work, that says a lot to me about what your agenda is. And then when you tell her that on Twitter, she gets mad and throws a hissy fit and goes back and forth and says, you people really are trash, talking about ADOS. You could have, with all them tweets, you could have did something productive.
Right. I will say, I don't watch Roland often, but I did watch a clip that he had today, or yesterday, I guess. And to me, in my personal opinion, it looked like his panel was turning against him, and they were understanding what we, ADOS, was talking about. And Roland started talking about policy, because they were talking about Pete Buttigieg and that horrible fiasco with them impersonating 400 black people for his campaign, endorsing the Douglas plan or whatever, and half the people turned out to be white, and then the top 3 people didn't really agree with the plan and didn't endorse him, and one of them happened to work for Bernie. And it's like, everybody on the panel was saying, yeah, we need a black agenda. We need things for black people. This policy ain't it. And Roman's cutting everybody off and trying to run through the history, and it's like, why can't you just sit there and agree on the fact that we need this. We are suffering. You're doing okay, but we are suffering down here. And it's just hard to just find a tinge of agreement with these people because they think that they're okay, but they get to write about how we're not okay. And then when we're telling them, hey, I get to say something about this because I live this and you're up there, they say no.
Yeah, and I think, you know what it is?
So caught up in their feelings.
Yeah, and I think, with Roland, I watched the Byron interview, and the Byron Allen interview Roland did was a decent interview, partly because he just let Byron talk. Like, normally what Roland does is just run over people, and and normally he's an awful interviewer because he just runs over people and talks over them. I think he knew he couldn't talk over Byron, so it made it a good interview. But people are waking up to the fact that we need an ADOS agenda and a black agenda, right? ADOS about reparations exclusively, but a black agenda is a broader agenda about black people in general. So we need both of those, and people are waking up to that. And there's nothing Roland Martin or anybody else can do about it. Like, it's here now.
Yeah, well, that's all I got. Thank you so much, Yvette.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You have a good evening.
Thank you. You have a good one. All right now. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's a problem. Like, we got to get rid of arrogance in our community and talking down and just, for what? Like, the woman who in the audience who was talking to Nicole Hannah-Jones was right and she was wrong. When you're wrong, like, I accept, like, I got that wrong. Oh man, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be talking about race if I get that wrong. I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be making money off a reparations book if I'm getting this wrong. Shouldn't be. So I am going to my next call. I'm going to 313-313. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind? Where you at? Where you at? Hello? Fam. I love you to death, but I gotta let you go. I don't know where you calling from. He's telling like he was inside a blender. Fam, I think he might be at work or something. I love you to death, but fam, I couldn't hear you. Could y'all hear him? I couldn't hear nobody. I hate to do that, but I could not hear a thing. Maybe it was my phone. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Okay. I thought maybe something was wrong with the software or something. I'm going to I'm going now to 818. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hi, Yvette. This is Dana calling from Los Angeles, ADOS Los Angeles.
Hey, what's going on?
Okay?
Y'all can hear you fine.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing your Friday with us and just doing a quick hit to keep us abreast of all the situations going on.
Thank you.
I want to thank you again, you and Tone, for a wonderful conference. I had the best time ever. It was really like a family reunion. You fired us up, you got us started, and now you have put us in a situation or gave us enough political education and knowledge to move forward in our local chapters and do the work that needs to be done. I am happy that, Puffy came out and said what he had to say, and I think right now everybody's on the run. The Rowlands, the Angela Rise, all the naysayers are on the run because now their check is in jeopardy. Their money is in jeopardy. Even locally here, I did not know what Maxine Waters was doing. In years past, whoever Maxine Waters said vote for, that's who you voted for in L.A.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have a political education and you believe what she said, but now we're seeing that these people, that we put in office or help put in office are just getting checks and benefiting on our backs without doing anything for us. But now, Tone, Yvette, ADOS has them on the run. And we're going to get them.
Ooh, thank you, fam. Yes, we done got people to running. They running. We got Houston, we got a runner. Thank you, fam. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Yvette.
No problem. You have a good Friday. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Because I think one of the things you have to understand is that when Nicole Hannah-Jones says this is the wrong court to bring your case, she's kind of reiterating, well, not kind of, she is reiterating Comcast talking point. Because that's what Comcast said. Comcast says the same thing. You end at the same place. Drop your case. So Comcast said, drop your case. Maybe we have a conversation with you, Byron. And then she said the same thing. Nicole Hannah-Jones, Byron, drop your case. You brought it at the wrong time. You understand how damaging this is. Like, you're at the New York Times. You have to know more than this. And you have to stand up to your magazine, your newspaper. It's not good enough just to do the 1619 Project and stand up as some kind of courageous figure within the community. Because no, doing history doesn't make you courageous. Doing politics makes you courageous. So Nicole Hannah-Jones, we offer you, let's do some politics. Other than that, man, just another history project? No. Stand up to the New York Times. That's who you work for. Tell them you should be covering this. Why aren't you covering this? Why aren't you doing the work? Why is there a blackout over Byron's case, which is the 1866 law? This involves black people, black wealth. It involves Diddy, Byron, and that ghost, that Casper, Magic Johnson. Where is he at? What are you doing? Like, it involves whether or not we're able to have black ownership, whether or not white capital is able to lock out black capital. Right? So, I don't even understand what's going on. So I'm going tonight now to 678. 678, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind? 678. People falling asleep on the phone. You there, 678? All righty then. Going to the next caller. I am going to 443. 443, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hi, my name is Jeff from Baltimore.
What's going on, Jeff?
Just like to give you and Tone major credit for what you all are pushing out. I'm glad that YouTube is allowing us to be able to connect all over like we couldn't do before.
Okay.
And, I come from a city where they finally got to this ex-mayor about her endeavors in this book of scams. And it's now time in our society that we tell the truth. And I'm glad that we having this talk as well as putting this agenda together, because we can't go for this stuff no more. We've been lied to long enough.
Okay. I hear you, fam. I hear you. I appreciate you. Yeah, we can't go for that no more. Thank you for calling in, fam. I appreciate it. No, just time out for all the stupid stuff. I am going now to 310. 310, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind? 34.
Hello?
What's going on, 310?
Yeah, this is Foster from Los Angeles.
What's going on, Foster?
Yeah, I was trying to settle this argument amongst ourselves about all this stuff about ADOS or not. But if you go to Adam Clayton Powell's speeches from the 60s, it settles all this. He passed 60 bills for us, while all the rest of this talk, nobody's doing nothing for us at all. You guys, Tariq, all of them, they're doing nothing for us. But just listen to Adam Clayton Powell's speech at UCLA, and he kills all this.
How does he kill all this? You can tell us what it says. Like, if you understand the information, you can interpret it and give it to us.
Check out the 60 bills that he passed that had to do with education.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Economics.
I'm familiar.
60 bills.
I'm familiar with Adam Clayton Powell. I have his biography. I've read it. I'm familiar.
Right.
But I'm saying, how do you say this kills all of this? What does that mean?
Everybody wants to nothing but Malcolm and Martin, and even Adam Clayton Powell said it was all garbage. He killed all what they did. They didn't do anything for us at all. Just like you all are doing nothing at all. But getting paid just like the other ones.
Who's being paid, caller?
For the money.
Who's being paid, caller?
You all. What are you doing for
What am I? No. Let's stay on your square. Stay on your square. Don't move. What am I being paid? By who?
That's all I see is $100 and $10 right on the screen.
Is that a lot of money? And I appreciate all the donations, but you're talking about a payout.
How much is that going towards black folks? Like you said, Tariq's money is not going towards black folks.
No, I'm talking about
garbage.
I'm talking about a $200,000.
You pimping black folks just like Tariq.
Are you gonna let me talk? Or are you just gonna scream and be, are you gonna let me talk?
You're alive. I'm letting you talk.
No. Are you gonna let me say, like, how are you gonna understand something? Since we've started ADOS, we have put reparations on the center stage. We have put a black agenda on the center stage. We have made black...
The black agenda is garbage. The black agenda is nothing for us.
What do you mean? Have you been to ADOS101.com?
I know everything that you're talking about.
No. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. You're a liar. Don't lie to me. Have you been there? Have you been to ADOS101.com? Don't tell me everything. Tell me specifically. Don't you lie to me.
You tell me one thing.
No. I asked you a question. I asked you a question. Answer it. Don't answer a question with a question, old man.
About is the reason. Just go vote for Democrats.
No. I didn't say that. Answer my question.
Don't vote for no Democrat.
No, answer my question. Answer my question. Don't be an old fool today. Answer my question. Did you go to ADOS101.com and have you seen our agenda? Answer the question if you can.
I see everything what you're talking
about. No. Tell me what my agenda is then. You've seen everything. Tell me what my agenda is. What's the agenda?
It's garbage.
No, you don't know it. You don't know enough. You don't know enough.
Is you getting paid? You pimping black folks.
How is that a pimp? No. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're an old liar. Let me just say this.
That guy Tone. You guys are bootlicks.
Let me just say something. This man, understand when you understand people don't know enough. If you knew enough, you would know that we have eviscerated every Democratic candidate. Go back and watch the shows. Go back and watch Bernie. Go back and watch Joe Biden. You can go back and watch Elizabeth Warren. There's not one Democratic candidate. See, what this person is doing is reciting Tariq Nasheed's talking points. Well, y'all just gonna vote Democrat. Why? Y'all just, and I'm gonna let you go, Carla, because I asked you if you read our agenda. You said, I know everything, and it's garbage. See, we have to get to a point to where we can have specific conversations. Yvette, I've read your agenda, and I think it's garbage because of this. I think it's garbage because it doesn't include this. I think you're garbage because you don't do this. You can't just call up and call me names, though. You can't just call up and say what it is. The only reason we're even talking about an ADOS agenda and a black agenda right now is because of what ADOS is doing. And let me just say this. ADOS is not just Yvette and Tone. ADOS is all the people who are doing all the work in these chapters. That's what ADOS is, and that's how ADOS is moving. You can't call here and tell me, well, I saw somebody give you $10 and you pimping the black community. What does that mean? Make it make sense for me. What don't you understand? Like, I don't even understand. I'm trying to figure out, like, what it is that he doesn't understand. So, understand something. Let me think. I'm trying to figure out a way to frame it. Okay. So, you watch CNN, right? CNN plays commercials. CNN does a lot of stuff to monetize the content. Now, most of our stuff is demonetized. And so if you want to go and challenge it and get it monetized, sometimes it'll get monetized, but it'll usually be within like 48 hours. Most of my views are already gone by then. So most of the money that we get on this show, or money that I get and Antonio gets, is like from people who donate. So that's the same thing. So you're okay if you watch CNN and you watch commercials. And that's how you monetize, and that's how they monetize political content. So if you watch Anderson Cooper or whatever, you watch Rachel Maddow on MSNBC, that's how the content is monetized. We don't have, like, they'll play commercials, but they're not giving us much, and they'll tell you, well, like, you can't get much because we're gonna demonetize this thing. It's suitable for a few advertisers, but not many. So that's why you'll see the same commercial a lot of times, right? So you're okay with, like, turning on your TV. This man is okay with turning on his TV and monetizing and seeing commercials and that monetized content. But if somebody gives $10 or $20 here, oh my God, you're pimping the black community. Not to mention, we changed everything in terms of the Democratic primary. ADOS alone changed all of that. But we're pimping the black community with no specifics. I read Adam Clayton Powell and he gutted everything y'all did. Well, I've read Adam Clayton Powell too, and show me how he did that. No, I can't show you. Right? See, what you don't understand is that I don't work for CNN. I don't work for MSNBC, so I don't have a network to employ me. So that's why the monetization comes through people who give donations. You don't know enough to talk, and yet you talk. And yet you call and talk about a book. So anyway, I don't want to keep it so people can't call in because it would just be wild sometimes. Well, I hope that I hope that solves my Lord. Yvette never gets negative calls. Yes, I do. Anyway, I'm going now to I'm going now to 301. 301, what's your name? Where you calling from? What is on your mind?
Hey, how you doing, everybody? It's Rashid here, ADOS
What's
Maryland,
going on, Rashid?
ADOS DMV in the house.
What's up with you?
Under the comment section, ain't nobody sent me. Ain't nobody sent me. I guess, oh God, I guess that's about it. But no, so I was underneath of oh man, we was just that last column was crazy. But under the 1619 Project Ladies page, and I posted a video of me calling Anthony Brown's deputy director for his campaign, and I was speaking to him. I'm like, she said, what work are you doing? I'm like, what? We're literally calling into people's campaigns, finding out who these people are, catching them at their offices, speaking to them, and I put him in the hot seat, and I was talking to him about, when Anthony Brown's new, next town hall was going to be. I showed up at the town hall, confronted him about lying about signing the amicus briefs for Comcast. He said he signed a strong letter, so I was like, oh, brother, you freaking crazy. And then the second question I asked him was about reparations, and he kept on changing the framing of my question from being reparations for ADOS to being descendants of enslaved Africans. And I'm like, that's not what I'm asking you. Like, if you're gonna, and he's like a lawyer or something. He's like, he has to do, he has like a bachelor's degree in something or whatnot. Anthony Brown does.
Okay.
And there was another brother that was at his town hall, and we were talking about Anthony Brown's donations from Comcast. He's gotten about $17,650. I know super specific for me to be like, I'm out. But he's gotten a lot of money from Comcast. And we confronted him about that, and he just kept on glad by it. Mr. Wolf kept on telling me, like, he's going to have another town hall before the end of the year. But they're being very vague with me now after I told them that I got about 6,000 views on one of the videos.
Okay.
And, so we doing the work. We out here. And as far as the, what was the other person? I'm sorry. What was the DC youth director? We went under her page and we were saying the same thing to her. Like, no, you need to go to ADOS101.com and read this. You'd be surprised because people, honest to God, they just talk out the side of their necks and they just get loud and wrong. It's like if you actually go to the website, just go to the website. It literally has a link that takes you to the ADOS agenda. And when you look at the language, you see that it is for communities, ADOS communities. And the thing is that, who lives adjacent to us? And it's funny that everybody feels that the language for communities is okay when we are the ones not being specified. But when we are the ones that are saying in our communities, and all of a sudden everyone else is not being specified, now it's a problem. And it's like, I remember Tone was saying, go to the website. We have a Greater Black Agenda, and when you read through each one of the agenda, each one of the agenda items, it's like in our communities. Well, where do all of these first-gen people live? And African immigrants, they live in our communities. So if we're going to say, we need black media, and he's saying we need specific money for ADOS media, and then the greater communities around us, that is the rest of the people that live in our area. But it's like it's targeted to us. But we already know that a lot of these individuals, they're identity stealing. I've chatted with a few of my close friends, and I'm like, hey, when you went to college, what did you put down? And some of them will say, oh, well, the only option I had when I went to college was, to put African American or black. It's like, no, you could have chose other. Like, come on, like you're using the fact that a lot of us have never been to college as a way to lie by omission. And the thing is that it's like, no, that's not going to work anymore because one, a lot of us, are coming to this understanding and then even more of us are viewing ADOS in real time, you know? So I was out there at the Supreme Court. I got there at 7:45.
Thank you so much, fam.
Freezing my behind out.
I heard it was cold.
Cool things, but no, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. You know, doing the work for the community, and you know, a lot of us got got tickets, and them tickets were like $100. So I don't know who's paying us, but if we getting paid, man, these tickets, those pocket tickets, are crazy out there, and they waited. I don't know, you know, if you saw some of the people, but the ticket people, they literally like waited until like 11:30, and they just ran through all the cars in the area, and I'm like, you know, we were in line. And I just happened to see over the fountain, the dude look right up at the stage, look right up at the stairs, and just start ticketing everybody's car. I just looked down, I was like, oh, that pink number is right on my windshield. But no, that's all. You know, I just called in, you know, because that is very disrespectful to us to say that we're not out here doing the work, and that, you know, that you pimping us or something like that. Like, no, we're adults. We understand what's happening. We see the website, and we're doing the work.
Thank you for that. Thank you, fam. I appreciate it. But, you know, the thing is, fam, and this is for everybody else on the line, too. You got to kind of understand, like, who to take seriously and who not to take seriously, right? Like, if somebody gives you a specific and y'all are really going back and forth, this is a serious debate. You have to take that seriously. You can't discount the person. You can't. But if you're talking to somebody who can't give you a serious counterpoint, then, like, how can I take you seriously? Like, even when you talk about Nicole Hannah-Jones and the woman, like, she told her this is what it is, and then she still got dismissed or whatever. Like, if you calling and you just saying, well, you know, XYZ, Adam Clayton Powell, and y'all is pimps, like, that's not a serious conversation. So it's not really anything to be upset about or to be like, you know, to get a bee in your bonnet about. It's not worth that kind of aggravation. It's just kind of a worthless call. So I'm going to go to the next caller. I am going to 917. 917, what is your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Yvette to the call now. What's good?
What's going on, fam? How you doing?
I'm smooth. This is Black Jetta from Brooklyn, New York. ADOS in the house.
Okay. What's going on with you?
I just wanted to listen. It's calling a Stephen A. hairline out here in New York. So I want to thank you for this.
Stop it.
My bad.
I'm just playing.
But I just want to thank you for this Friday night show because I wasn't going nowhere, so it came right on time.
Good.
And I just wanted to say that not the last call, obviously, but the crazy caller, the boomer.
Okay.
Those people are good practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at it like we in the heavyweight division, so not everybody's going to be a title contender. There's not going to be a championship fight every time, but you need the tune-ups to keep the data at hand so that you know what you're doing when you do get into that heavyweight fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though he was spewing nonsense and craziness and all this, whatever he was talking about.
Yeah.
When you take that, when you get those practice rounds under your belt, when you get to the heavyweight, and you really having a substantive debate with somebody that's coming back and forth with good counterpoints, you're sharp because you went through the crazies like the boomer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you know, even though they're crazy, we could thank them for what they do bring at times.
You have to.
More importantly, say it again.
I said no. I agree with you. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But more to the topic of what we were talking about tonight, I think this just highlights what you and Tone just been beating the drum about this whole time in opposition to Tariq. You know, before he became opposition, even while he was a halfway supporter and voice and all that rhetoric that they give. Like this, everything with P. Diddy's statement and the case against Byron Allen, it just drives the point home that there can never be and there will never be black business without black politics. It just can't happen. Like when you look at the way in which Comcast set his channel up to fail, the only thing holding this thing together and keeping us in the game to the level that we are now is black politics. If not for the laws that say they have to have diversity in the things that they are forced to do, they would just cast us to the side altogether, as we see with their intentions. And so, without that black politics angle, which most people now all of a sudden are surprised that they have to do in order to get by, even though that's all that's gotten us by all through these years, black business is what we've tried already and what has failed already. And unless we become a protected class, it's going to be more of the same. So I just thank you guys for this beautiful education. Yeah. Like you have me I'm at local meetings. I'm holding people accountable. I'm hitting them with the data. I'm talking to the CCRB and the police departments and our local, police community board meetings. So it's just a beautiful thing to be engaged and to know you're engaged with your people and that you got a network of other ADOS people that loves each other and we doing the work.
Thank you, fam. Thank you so much. I mean, and that's what it's about. It's not just it is about politics, but part of it, thank you, fam. It's about community too. That's why when we say, well, it was like the ADOS conference was like a, oh my God, it's a family reunion. Because you have to want to do that for each other, we have to have community. We have to understand we're in it together. These people are my family. I'm their family. We all we got, and we finna fight together. We can have allies. That's great. And we bring allies into the fold. We've always brought allies into the fold. We've never kind of tribalized. So we can do all of that, but we got to be family as we do it. And we can incorporate people into the family as we see fit, but we got to be family. And I think that's the beginning of it. And then what you saw when people come to the ADOS conference, when people come to the Supreme Court, is that how we interact and we move as family. You know, that's how we do this. We're not doing this to just we come together as a political project. No, we come from the same thing. We come from slaves and accrued disadvantage. That's the tie that binds us. We have allies, but this is the tie that binds us together. We family. And I don't think if you haven't been or you're not a part of ADOS in terms of how we have kind of anchored this, then maybe you don't know. But we're family. It is what it is. So I'm going to go to my next caller. I'm going to 512. 512, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, this is Hamilton. I'm calling from Texas. I talked to you before, but I just want to say, man, how you doing? You know,
doing good.
Sorry
how about
about that one crazy caller who
always
acted a fool. You know, he showed his whole behind tonight.
Hey, let him show it to the moon. You gotta do it. They gotta do it sometime, fam. So they gotta call in every time again.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I wanted to keep it quick. I just wanted to say something. I wanted to speak on something you talked on in the last show.
Okay.
And you were kind of talking about how, kind of back on the same thing that we done already went over before about, how black people, we don't have the money that everybody try to say we have or think we have. And I know you talked about something totally different in the show, but I just kind of want to go back to that just one time. And I want to say that I'm a construction worker. I work for a union. Okay. I work for the Sheet Metal Workers Union. And, so I do construction here in the city where I'm from. And, I do work. And I always see my nephew downtown, And my nephew graduated college. He went and got my brother and my sister-in-law went and got this boy an education. They worked hard. They worked overtime, everything to put my nephew through college. And he went to college. He graduated and everything. He even had some issues, some problems. But you know what? He had to switch schools at one time. But, he went on ahead. He went up there. He graduated. And then now he out here. It's not a knock on my nephew. I love him to death. I'm just saying, though, he out here riding these scooters around. His job right now, after going to get a college degree in criminal justice, he out here riding scooters around and, dropping them off at the next stop. You know what I'm saying? From one stop to the next. We got these little scooters, that they drive
birds,
around.
Yeah, the little birds, yeah.
Huh?
They call them birds here, I think. Birds or chirps, I can't remember. But, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Yeah, so he got his scooters and he's dropping off at one stop, then he goes to the next stop, drop them off, but he always drop them off around where I work at. So I always see him all the time around my lunchtime and stuff. So I see my nephew, oh, nephew, what's up, everything like that. You know, but I just say all that to say that, you know, we supposedly got all this money, but, you know, here we go, my nephew, he go to college. Brother, my sister-in-law work real hard, put him through school, you know what I'm saying, overtime, extra jobs, all that kind of stuff. And then look, he out here, he got the ride scooters around and drop him off, you know what I'm saying, here and there, you know what I mean? And he got to try to go back to school, and then that means my brother and my sister-in-law got to work even harder to put him back in school to go get, you know, he gonna come out of college with, say he go and get a master's or something, whatever. He'll come out and he ain't gonna get a job that can pay that off right away, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, no plugs. Not what you're really saying is plugs and outlets, though, because the man went to college. There's no way he should be doing scooters anyway. Like, I can understand if he's doing something in the sheriff's office and he is an administrator and he's making 60 or whatever, but you think he should be doing better or whatever. Like, but there's no way you should, and I understand that, because that's still not enough to be paying off the student debt. So why is he at the sheriff's office as administrator making 60? But good God, like, he shouldn't be doing what he's doing. And then if he goes back to school, then everybody in the family, the parents got to go back in debt, and he still might come out and there might not be a plug. I mean, there might not be an outlet for his plug. So it's all like this sham game.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I like how you put that, for real.
Yeah, it's a sham game. That's what they playing. Everybody's playing the game on ADOS. And like, I think what's happening there, the benefit of this moment is that it's like we're picking up on it. And I don't think anybody really anticipated that we would. And that's the beauty of ADOS, is that we are picking up on, like, yeah, y'all running the game. Y'all running the game on us. And it's really hurting us. And we can't talk big no more about what we got and what we do. We have to be honest. And that's why Diddy's statement was so important, because he has been like the head of kind of aspirational black excellence. For him to say, like, they designed this stuff for me to fail is important. And I think one of the things that I have always said, yeah, go ahead, fam. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No problem.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm saying it really was important for him to do that, because I remember I used to see Diddy come on Facebook and Instagram and talk about, oh, well, you know, you just got to work hard, fam. You ain't grinding hard enough. You ain't doing this and this and whatever. And, you know, but then when he had to come out and he seen everything that's going on right now, which I do attribute to ADOS, you know, putting that foot forward, you know, and really coming out and making everybody, and that goes to the other caller too, though, that one caller who showed it behind. But, you know, when ADOS came out on the scene and started really clamping down on all these political candidates and everything, you know, it made everybody see what black folks really go through, and then they had to start addressing us in the media. They had to start addressing us on social media. They had to start addressing everybody, like, out in the public, and they couldn't hide no more. And so when Diddy came out and just really told the truth and said what it was, man, I had to take my hat off to him for that, because it takes a big person to, like, you know, you was at one point saying X, Y, and Z, but now, you know, you see everything coming to fruition. You see everything coming, you know, to a head. You know, go ahead and just say what it is, Diddy. You know, hey, look, I ain't really making that money like that with Comcast. Hey, I put my little bid in, whatever, and, you know, it ain't really going like how I thought it was, and, you know, and these people trying to block me out. So, you know, let me just go ahead and tell everybody the truth.
Absolutely. Thank you, caller. I think that's absolutely right.
Oh, thank you.
And I think that's why his statement matters so much. Like, what it says is just like, even who I am and how much I have worked and how long I've been doing this, white capital can still shut me out, and they are. I'm not getting what they give other white networks. That's what's happening. They shut me out of everything. So I think that's the importance of it all. I'm going to go to my last call. I'm going to go to 646. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hi, Yvette.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
Hey.
Yvette. Hi, this is Shaw from Brooklyn, New York. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. Again, thank you again for this show tonight on this Friday. I was hoping to that you would have this show, because I was following the Byron Allen case, and I saw the Paula Madison, I believe that's her name, of, she was an NBC executive. And matter of fact, she said she wrote, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. I can hear you just fine.
She wrote, okay. She said she wrote the memorandum too. She was a part of the one writing it or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
She said she drafted it. Yeah, I think she said she drafted it. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so she also, wrote this thing, which I have questions about it too, because she wrote it. Then who are you, and knowing that you were doing these things and these people were going to not, these people were definitely going to fail. I mean, for you to do it, but I guess it's a job.
Well, hold on 1 second, fam. It's also something that, like, you had the Africa channel, you were part of that, but you were also, like, in the diversity, you were also an executive there, so that's something too. But go on, I understand what you're getting at.
Yeah, I kind of question that too, but just the fact that she came out and she said something, and I saw that today, I was like, I started celebrating. I mean, I guess I need to get a life because I'm so happy. I'm like, we're in there. It's happening now. And I'm laughing because I'm like, I want to talk to my friends and family who I've been talking to, and they're just so in love with Obama. So I'm like, okay, I said, all this has to happen, and then they'll see for themselves. But I was celebratory today. I'm like, I couldn't wait to hear. And then I looked at some other things, and 50 Cent also stated that he was down with Diddy and what he said, and he said that because I believe Comcast had canceled his show, or his show was going to be canceled. I don't watch the show, so I don't even know what it is. But something about his cancellation of his show.
I think Power is the show, yeah.
Okay, and so he had already cursed out Mr. Cohen and Roberts, whatever. He had already said, like really tweeted something bad against them. But he was like, "Oh, I stand with Diddy." So let me tell you all that to say, you did it. You guys did it. I mean, I'm so down with you. AGOS all the way. God bless y'all. Y'all doing it, and I know it's because of you. I know it's because of AGOS. But for real, for sure. Definitely.
Thank you. And ADOS, thank you, fam. I appreciate that so much. And understand that ADOS is us. ADOS is not Antonio or just Yvette or whatever. ADOS is us. We've been doing all this work together. Y'all was at the Supreme Court. Down here in ATL, you're doing this over here. This is ADOS. This is us. This is a group. I have always said that politics is a group project. Wealth is a group project. It's not an individual endeavor. And we're doing all of this together. So family, thank you so much for being here on this Friday night show. Please hit that like button for me. Please do that. Please. I know that some people said you can't share on Facebook, so oh well, Facebook's about dead anyway. But please, tweet the show out and let's try to get this moving and all that different stuff like that. You can go subscribe to brown.com as well. Make sure, like I said again, I'm gonna say it again, hit the like button. And don't forget, fam, like I said at the beginning of the show, this They Were Her Property. This will be our next book club book. January the 30th, which is a Thursday, the last Thursday in January, that will be our book club day. So I don't want no excuses. You have more than enough time, fam, to get the book and read the book. It's still November. It ain't even December. We're talking late January. More than enough time to get the book, They Were Her Property, and read it so we can have the conversation that we always have. Always have. So family, you can go to donatebrown.com if you want to, and you want to donate. So all of that good stuff, fam. So we had an interesting show today. Interesting shows to come. This is please understand, this is, I don't know that this is a very interesting political time to be alive. And I think it's going to get more interesting. And we will talk about that at a later date. But fam, it's Friday. Get to bed, rest yourselves and all that good stuff. And we will talk Monday. Okay, fam? Be easy. Finish your libations.